Seveso disaster was an industrial accident that occurred around 12:37 p.m. on July 10, 1976. It took place in a small chemical manufacturing plant, which is approximately 20 kilometers north of Milan in the Lombardy region of Italy. A town named Seveso was the community most affected. The chemical release accident occurred because the production cycle had been interrupted without agitation or cooling, and the plant had no device to collect or destroy toxic materials as they were wanted. It resulted in the highest known exposure to TCDD in residential populations. People were warned not to eat local produce on July 17th, which is a full week later. Despite the fact that there were no human fatalities, many people became extremely ill following the accident. Countless amounts of children and some adults began to develop inflammatory irritations on their skin, referred to as chloroquine due to dioxin poisoning. In addition to these problems, many pregnant at that time were found genetic defects and congenital deformities present in their children, which led many to obtain legal abortions. The ecosystem was completely destroyed in this area. Thousands of animals died instantly. Within days, a total of 33,000 animals were found dead, mostly poultry and rabbits. And by 1978, over 80,000 animals had been slaughtered. Plants had also been suffered, and the soil had the highest degree of dioxin contamination. The catastrophic accident prompted the adoption of legislation on the prevention of such accidents. This policy including how to manage the afterwards cleanup. Some other recommended solutions for this accident would be evacuate civilians immediately when they realized that there was a chemical release. The government should also pay attention to the plant, especially when residents reported an abnormality. As the recovery of the community proceeded, several studies have been completed on the health of the population of surrounding communities, and the treatment of the soil in the affected areas was so complete that it now has a dioxin level below what would normally be found. The whole site has been turned into a public park, which is Seveso Oak Forest Park. Seveso is a town of 20,000 inhabitants in the geographical perspective known as a district area of strong Catholic cultural tradition. Since after World War II, chemical industries began to install their plants in this place. The accident at the origin of the Seveso disaster occurred in the chemical plant ICMESA, which produced intermediate compounds for the cosmetics and pharmaceutical industry since 1969. People should care this disaster since Seveso plays the role of prototype for chemical industrial disasters, and it was one of the worst and the most impressive chemical disaster ever in the history. In fact, at the European level, the Seveso disaster has been framed as a disaster of information, which helped in highlighting the lack of information about industrial hazardous productions as a major cause of vulnerability in our highly industrialized societies. The disaster brought home the need to combine industrial development with the protection of our citizens and the quality of the environment.